People have been saying that Ryan Garcia has been kind of losing his mind. People are saying that he's having a mental breakdown. Some people are speculating that he's on drugs. There is stuff that people that even love him could tell there's something going on. So when I saw him go on this Andrew Tate thing, he explains that they tied him down and made him watch behavior. And Andrew's response was, be careful where you're going. I am terrified for this man.
I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh.
It's not often I sit down with somebody and they say something that makes me think.
Bro, this was great.
I love you guys.
Will you give me something to think about?
My own damn way.
I had a lot of fun on this interview.
What's up, guys? Welcome back. We're in Arizona. We're at my mom's place, and my dad's place, and my sister's place, and my place, as you could see right here.
Yes.
I'll never forget when we did. By the way, just a little fun story. I photoshopped Joe Coy's face onto this one time.
Do you want me to put it on the screen for them
Please.
to see?
It was a joke, and my dad pulled me aside. He goes, "Hey, man, why you replace me?" And I was like,
Dude.
I felt so bad about that.
Loki probably thought that was funny, but Loki, he probably was like that probably hurt us a little bit.
No. He pulled me aside. He was very sad.
And now we're bringing it back up, and we're putting the picture back up again.
He looked at me. He goes, "I thought I did a great job being your dad. Why you replace me with Filipino?"
Stop it.
Oh, you had to bring race into it, huh?
Always. Anyways, guys, welcome back to the George Janko Show. Sorry for that crazy intro. We're very, very hopped up and energized and super excited to be here right now.
We're crazy.
To be honest, we have a bunch of things, but we just got hit with some things that we really haven't even done our research on, but we just watched it. We really want to talk about it. And it's the whole Ryan Garcia and Andrew Tate conversation.
Wild.
That, first of all, what's going on? Like, what's real, what's fake anymore?
All I know is if Andrew Tate is telling you to be careful, you bro.
Oh, okay.
Like,
So
slow down.
let's
You
break
know
it
what I
down for
mean?
them, right? So I actually had it in my notes to talk about. Everybody's been talking about Ryan Garcia, and they're saying that he's kind of losing his mind or he's on some type of drugs. This is what people are saying, dude. Stop looking at me with judgment, bro.
Also, the braids. It's the way she's holding her braids.
Yeah, dude,
That's
you're
what's
real
doing it.
sassy right
you
now,
look like
dog.
like a
You're real
like a
sassy
popular
right now, dog.
popular
I
girl
can't do
that's like
anything.
How
waiting
about
to pick on someone.
let me fill them in, and then you guys could give your little sassy little inputs.
Listen, I can't control my reactions to speak.
Oh, did you see? She did the braid thing again. She ran it
Dude,
down.
Like she's like, I can't control. You can't control me. You can't control me. I'm like, damn, bro. Okay, sorry.
Break it
sorry.
down. Break it down.
Okay, let me break it down for you guys. So people have been saying that Ryan Garcia has been kind of losing his mind. A lot of people are saying that he's having a mental breakdown. Some people are speculating that he's on drugs.
Is this all based off like Twitter stuff? 'Cause
So
Yeah,
if you
who's saying
watch
that?
the way he's behaving recently versus the contrast of how he used to behave, there is some stuff that people that even love him could tell there's something going on.
Okay.
Now, before this conversation with Andrew and Ryan took place, I wrote it in my notes, and I have my own opinion of Ryan that I kind of wanted to just voice. So I'm going to get into that, and then I'm going to tell you what I feel about this video chat call, because it completely spun me in a whole different direction. So when I saw everything online, I thought this, and this is truly how I felt. This industry is very tough. Very, very tough. I was talking to my dad about this the other day. I think it's very unfair what happens, and I'll give you an example. We look at child stars grow up, and now they're on drugs, and they're kind of a mess, and we go, look at them, stupid, they wasted their life, they had this, they had that. But then when I walked into Hollywood, I realized that these poor kids had no chance at like having a good life, a normal life.
and why?
Because of their surroundings and the way that they're squeezing money out of these kids.
Got it.
So when you're involved in Hollywood and you don't have a good home and family, you are now just a money bag to them. And they will use you and abuse you and do whatever they can. So I told my dad, I go, enough, we need to stop talking about people in the limelight and also start teaching people around us that like, we don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And I find it very sad that a child star didn't have a good home, got reamed. All they wanted to do was perform and make people happy. And then they get thrown away. And then the people that they were making happy go, look at you, you sorry excuse of a beep word. And I'm trying my best not to swear. And then we peg them out to be this. So when I saw Ryan Garcia in his last fight admit that somebody from his camp sold him out to let them know where he's injured, my mind went to, okay, this guy is very young, very talented, under extreme extreme scrutiny at every moment of any decision he makes. But then he finds out that his own team, his own family, his own friends could be against him. That is a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
So then maybe I thought to myself, he escaped through stuff that I did when I was going through it. I went to smoke weed because I wanted to numb myself because I didn't want to think about the things that were breaking my heart. And I had to pull myself out of that, get myself, back with God and back with my family. But I was blessed with that mindset to do that. And I was blessed with a good foundation with my mom, my dad, my sister, my friends. And to be honest, broke me down, rebuild me up for me to be able to be in this industry. Correct. Okay. But if a man doesn't have that, and we've seen that his team is selling him out, what are they doing behind closed doors that we don't even know about? So that kind of broke my heart. And I'm like, that sucks that now even his own fan base or people are like trying to drag him down. It's like, bro, like you couldn't, the people that talk about him couldn't stand in his shoes. So I wanted to publicly stand out and say, hey, bro, like if you need me, we've talked. I can't get a hold of him, by the way. This is the weird part. I can't get a hold of him. Just to talk to him as a friend, just to be there for him as a friend. And that's what worried me. And I was going to get on the podcast and talk highly about him and try to motivate him from a screen, and also maybe try to change people's perspective on how we should really be monitoring people that are being entertainers, you know? Okay, so that was my thought then.
Yeah.
But then I hear him go on this Andrew Tate thing, and what scared me is, and a lot of people are saying that Andrew was a little sus about how he was talking to Ryan, being like, yo, be careful, blah, blah, blah. But if you really believe in these spiritual warfare or whatever that's going on in this world, from hanging out with Andrew and also hanging out with Ryan, my perspective is Ryan finally had the last straw on what's going on. What he explains in this video, that they tied him down and made him watch pedophile behavior.
It was more graphic than that.
I just don't want to. I don't want to.
Of course, you shouldn't.
But
it was dark.
It was a
really
very dark image he painted, and Andrew's response was, "Be careful where you're going."
And if Andrew is telling you that,
you got to be careful. Sometimes a lot of people want to I don't care, but it's like if you want to win the war, be smart. And a lot of people are saying, is Andrew a part of them now because he's trying to get him to be quiet and be? But I think he was looking at him like a little brother, like, oh, you finally understand what's going on. You should really be quiet.
Yeah.
Now that we are seeing what I feel to be maybe a meltdown or maybe a drug used to get away from something, or maybe what's true is that what he's saying is, oh, like they made me do this or blah, blah, blah. Like all the graphic things, which I would highly advise you go watch this video of him and Andrew talking. It's hard to know what's real anymore, dude. And this is a scary thing to be a part of. Before you guys chime in, because I know I have been ranting, this is my one thing. Say it is real, say it isn't real. I think the most dangerous part of life is confusing reality with non-reality, so that way you could get away with really bad things and people could be numb to it and be like, well, we don't even know. Like, I'll give you an example, school shootings. When we first heard about them, we were like, bro, what? That's crazy. I knew people that would even go to work because they were sobbing. And now they're like, oh, school shooting, which state? Like, you get numb to it.
Yeah.
The numb part is what scares me.
desensitized.
Being desensitized to these type of behaviors. Now that I've gotten this whole painting pictured,
Nice.
please fill me in on your guys' thoughts.
Well, if I may read, I just, and I don't know a whole lot about Ryan, but from, you having a relationship with him, throughout the years and things like that, and the character that he's shown, I feel like now this information coming out, it just seems like to me there is no reason why Ryan would have any reason to go on Andrew Tate and make this up. That's why I think like if he's saying this, I do feel like in my heart then he's telling the truth, because him going on and lying would only hurt his career, and it's something so big and heavy. I don't think that it's something that he would make up. And then if that's the case, and if this is real, I mean, there's not a single person here who can understand what he's going through and how he's feeling. And so I just think that it's like, okay, well then if he has been acting a little weird on Instagram, then clearly this situation, this graphic situation that he explains on Andrew Tate, it's clearly not probably the only situation that's happened. I'm sure there's been small things that's happened leading up to this.
He also said that they molested him at 2. That's
right.
That's a crazy statement, bro.
Yeah. So already if you're dealing with that trauma on yourself, right, you went through that when you're 2 years old. We don't know his shoes. We don't know his position. And so I think people, you know, you said like, oh, he had been acting a little weird on Instagram beforehand. It's probably because God knows what's been going on in his life right now. And he has probably been trying to do whatever he can to make himself feel sane, make himself feel okay. So I don't think that his behavior like online has to dictate like whether what he said is true or not, you know? Like I think he's going through like I think he's going through it. So something is clearly going on.
Yeah, I get it, but you going through it and then saying some stuff like that is two different things, dude. You can't.
Well, also he's also said he had proof. Mm-hmm. That's the other thing. Is like we just heard about this.
I'm just confused because how do you have your phone, but then you don't have your phone?
Yeah,
you don't have access to your social medias, but then you do have social media access.
It sounded kind of manic to a certain degree. I don't want to point fingers or anything, or I don't want to say that he's making anything up, but it sucks that we're in this time where if he was making it up, we'd go, oh, that makes sense because it plays so much.
But why
into,
that? But why that? You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty
it's very left field.
But here's the thing, bro. Belle's like what she's saying has a lot of weight to it because it's not like he's trying to get famous. The kid has millions of people tuning into his fights.
He's in an amazing spot right now. Why would he, you know?
Yeah.
But also it's like, even if it was true, I feel like that was like a crazy way to go about. I mean, he maybe wanted to get the news out quicker. I don't know. It's just, to me, it's such I know it sounds messed up for me to say this, but it's more dangerous for you to lie about that than it is to see that, if that makes sense. It would break my heart to know that it's true. It would also break my heart to know that it's fake because then I'm like, dude, there's people that deal with this on a real basis and you're just watering it down so that then the next person that talks about it it's not a real thing. But also again, it's like, why is he doing that? He has a fight coming up. He has all this stuff going on. Like, I don't know. I have parasites.
Yeah, you do. He has parasites.
Pray for George.
Honestly, dude, not even joking, bro. Like I have parasites.
No, this is crazy.
I didn't even tell Reed all of this because we were waiting for the podcast. But basically, long story short, I'm just like, for about a few years, I went through some shit and I was like trying to figure it out. Now I'm going back to my. Hold on. I'm going to start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. So when everything started working out for me and my podcast and everything that's going on, I was like, cool. Now I could build my foundation and then grow from it, right? One of the things was being disciplined, and I spoke that into existence this year, and I held myself accountable. So much so that God provided an opportunity where two young women that fear God were like, yo, watch your mouth. And then now I'm like, oh, I got to watch my mouth. And I had no idea how hard watching my mouth was. I had no idea.
But you asked for the lesson, you got it.
Yeah, and I got it. And so I'm trying to deal with that. And and then through that process, I was like, man, this is really hard. And when you focus on something, you all of a sudden like realize, oh, there's so much more. You know what it was? I pulled my car in for an oil change. Turns out this whole thing is broken, bro. And so I realized that I was like, okay, God, like, what else do you want me to be disciplined with? And God's like, yo, like your temple. And in my mind, I thought church. So I was like, all right, maybe I should find like a true church that like I like really spend a lot of time, because I go to my Syrian church and then I also bounce around because I travel a lot. But in my mind, I'm like, maybe he wants me to focus up on church. But then I realized temple means your body, right? I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that. Like your temple.
How did he tell you this about
Scripture.
your temple? Got it.
So when I talk to God, it's not like he's talking back to me audibly. But dude, I can't explain.
He shows
this.
you what you're supposed to see.
Well, I'll pray, and then all of a sudden, bro, I'm reading it, and it's speaking back to me what I asked him.
It's like the answer.
It's a very crazy thing to explain. Only people that really have a relationship with Christ really understand this. Like, the word became flesh, and then he left us the word again. So when people are like, well, Jesus is not with us, it's like, no. You just don't want Jesus to be with you. He is with you. He's in the gospel. So I'm reading the scripture, and he goes, get your temple right. So I started going to the gym. I started eating clean. But then I'm realizing, and this is going to get a little graphic, I realized that I haven't had a solid stool in like 3 years.
The day he told me this and said, well, this is what it has always looked like for years. I was like, I'm sorry, what? I'm like, Georgie, that's not
I think
okay.
a lot of people could relate to that.
Yeah, dude. It's so sometimes when you're down bad, right? When you're down bad mentally and your body goes with you, when you come back out, you just are so used to how your body's feeling that you're like, this is me now.
Yeah, totally.
you're like,
This is me
normal.
now.
Yeah.
This is age. I'm aging. This is like this is
So
how 30-year-olds feel.
PSA for everybody. Your stools tell you a lot about how you're doing health-wise.
Bro, and by the way, stool is shit.
No.
Thank you.
Just for other people to
Poop.
you really...
Poop.
Anyway,
So-
so I'm looking at my poop and I'm like, that's
Also, bro,
poop.
I remember when I first started working for you, like over 3 or 2 years.
3 years now almost.
Yeah, 3 years. Every single day, you'd come down and like I'd have the camera and we'd start vlogging. Every day, you'd be like, bro, like I don't know what I ate last night. Or like, dude, you had food poisoning? Food poisoning every week.
But and that's
Every
what's sad,
week,
bro.
dude.
Everybody kept
Your
thinking I
gut
was lying, right? Because they were like, "Oh, bro, you just gotta stop eating gluten and stuff like that." And I got tested for gluten, and they're like, "No, you're fine." And
Just
so
thought
I'm
you were
like,
super sensitive.
I was super sensitive, but then I would go to other
3 years.
country, yeah, bro, for a long time.
3
So
years.
finally, like God kept telling me, "Go check your temple. Go check your temple. Go check your temple." So I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go check my temple."
How was it?
So I called my friend. His name's Tim, and he's a pharmacist, but he's a pharmacist in a way where he is boots on the ground for the people, not for the money, bro. He is here for the people. Almost lost his license during COVID fighting for people. Like, I'm telling you, God's going to bless this man's bloodline forever because of the kind of man he is. So I called Tim and I go, Tim, like, bro, like, this is what's going on with me. And he goes, no, that's not okay. He goes, you need to go get checked. And so I go, I think I have parasites because I Googled what I have and everything that had to do with parasites, I was showing signs of.
Would you mind sharing some of your symptoms just in case like anybody else feels
So
like
I would
they've
have
had
to
this?
run to the bathroom at random times. My stool was always, I was peeing out of my butt. Like I had, like it was not solid, bro.
You
It was
didn't need
just
to
like,
say that. I think people
you said be graphic, dude.
I didn't say be graphic.
You're
I
the
said
first person
explain
that's
your
ever said that.
symptoms.
And when I first heard you say that, I was like, wow, dude, I didn't know a sentence could be that on point, but graphic at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
wow, I wish I didn't know what you meant.
Yeah.
Now you know.
So peeing out of my butt, and I wake up and I'm really, really exhausted all the time, and I have to like kind of fight, and I would have a lot of brain fog, and I thought it was from smoking, so I'd cut smoking, and that would help because I'm an idiot. Of course, when you stop smoking, you're gonna see some side effects that's good for you. So I stopped smoking for a bit, and I was like, oh, but I'm still like going through all these things.
Inflammation in your body.
Oh, inflammation. Let's put it this way. I haven't been to the gym in a week properly, and I've been shedding weight off my body like crazy. I can't wait to get back into the gym. I'm on a lot of medication right now, but we'll get into that. But so I go and I go to the doctor, and before I even say anything, he's looking in my mouth like this while I'm talking. He goes, open your mouth. And I go, and he goes, whoa. He goes, you got that parasite? And I was like, what? Are you serious? He saw it in my mouth. Now, there weren't worms flying
Like
around.
there was 2 eyes.
He goes, yeah. He goes, up that. I know that parasite.
He's kind of cute. What do you name him? It's Jerry.
So yeah, I had parasite in my mouth that was so bad it came from my gut. So then he ran me through some other test, my equilibrium or whatever, equilibrium.
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 I passed tests as if I was drunk. So we were running through tests, and he goes, "Oh, dude, your eyes are super
Constipated.
Constipated?
No, I'm constipated.
They're over. You're messing me up.
Okay, go. Constipated.
Stop it.
He's dyslexic.
You're over
Compensating.
Compensating.
You're welcome.
Nice, George.
So I'm
Couldn't have
over
done it without you.
constipated compensating, and
Wait.
I'm actually both. So I go, what do I do? And he just looks at me and goes, how's your feet? And now this is a very insecure thing. Okay,
No.
so my feet have been getting a little funky, dude. Like I just started
Like
getting
cheesy?
No, not
Ew,
like that.
don't go
Not
that
like that.
far.
Not like that.
Okay.
But like they were just like they just didn't look appropriate, right? Like I'd always wear socks. Because they didn't want to show my feet. And I thought it was athlete's feet. And I was just like, I'm not an athlete right now. Why am I getting this? You know what I mean? Like, this is definitely not
Do you
for
ever
me.
wear shoes without socks?
Never.
Okay.
And that's the craziest people. Like, and I was always embarrassed because I'm a clean guy. But people would be like, look at those.
You are very hygienic.
Look at those hooves that he has on his.
Yeah.
And so they would always make comments about my feet. And then I have a rash in the back of my neck right here where your equilibrium or whatever.
Equilibrium?
Maybe. I think it's like right here. But basically, I had a bunch of parasites back here as well. not in my hair, but like in my insides. And
Do you know what they look like?
No idea.
And he thought that this in the back of his head, because he went to a dermatologist, he thought it was just like dermatitis, you know, like.
But also,
something
hold
simple.
on. So check this out. All the other doctors are giving me Band-Aids. They were giving me cream for this to go away for like a month and then it would come back. Same for my feet. It would look good for a week and then it would come back. My body was trying to naturally tell me that I'm loaded with parasites.
Yeah.
And I had no idea. So I've been on the medications for like a week. And when I'm telling you, bro, there's days where I'm like, I feel like I'm 16 again, bro. Like
Wow.
I could feel my skin, my body, my energy, my everything is starting to like come back up. But then there's days where I could really feel like they're just dumping out of me, bro. Like the first day I told Belle, I felt a colony die. Because like I took it and I could hear, like it felt like my stomach was vibrating for a bit. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, we made a
We're
joke.
back on a high.
Yeah,
Okay.
Because I'm not supposed to have any carbs or sugar because that's what they feed on.
Tough.
So, but
Tough.
bro, I'm doing it.
Yeah, right.
Bro, we're not fasting.
No
right now, you know
pasta?
what I mean?
No,
We're
no.
taking medication. You know, but me and Belle would always joke around. Every time I drink like something that has like sugar in it, we're like, because they're like burning. They're like burning, and then they get a little sugar, and they're like, freak out.
He's like beating them. I'm like, stop it. What are you doing? You're keeping them alive.
He likes them.
Hey guys, this video is sponsored by Vessi. That is the shoes that I'm wearing right now. Now you guys are probably wondering, George, what's so special about these shoes? Go ahead, pitch. Well, here it is. They're very, very comfortable, but they're durable. And when I mean they're durable, I mean they are durable, bro. Waterproof. Like I literally could put my toe just like in water like this and I won't feel anything. So if you're in snow, if you're in water, if you like to travel like me where you could wear this in Miami as a cool little fit, like, oh, I'm going to dinner, I look nice. Oh no, I'm going on a snowboarding trip and I'm gonna be walking in snow. It's okay. Vessi. Now you're probably wondering, okay, George, you got my attention, but what's the code, right? How much percentage are you giving us? Get 15% off your first order when you visit www.vessi.com/Janko. Check out the website. I really think you guys would really, really like it. And leave a comment down below if you guys have gotten Vessi before. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the show.
But just so you know, like, you get parasites. Of course, you can get parasites, you know, from like bad meat, things like that. But you get it from like fast food, from artificial products, from things that are chemically like made. You know, just so be aware of that.
I need to
Like
get
all
tested.
chemically boxed things.
The reason I brought it up and really hold myself out there for embarrassing like judgment is just to honestly if I don't want anybody to go through what I went through. So if you're feeling what I'm feeling by yourself and you're like, oh, I don't want to tell anybody, definitely go get checked. You know what's so funny? My cousin came up to me. He's like, oh, you got parasite. Oh, look at Parasite Boy. He's like, oh yeah, what's your symptoms? And I started listing my symptoms. He's like, yeah. Yeah. And then he literally just goes, Caro, I think I have parasites. So he's going to go get tested.
Well,
but dude, no, I'm not even joking. I would be in the gym every single day, right? Every single day, busting an hour of cardio and then weightlifting, but I couldn't get anything. And the reason why, and this is what he's explaining, when the food would go through me, they would eat up the nutrients and then pass it through with nothing. Right?
Yeah.
So,
They're
bro,
taking everything from him.
1 week of just eating clean and taking all these vitamins that they're giving me and my whatever things that are killing it. There's a lot of pills, bro. A lot of pills. 1 week, I'm shredding weight off. Like, bro, I can't wait to get back into the gym. And by the way, and vouch for me, guys. Wasn't there times that you would see me and be like, oh, bro, you're looking lean, and then the next day back to being completely like,
Oh, 100%. He would make
bloated.
such progress in a week, and then like all of a sudden would have like few like 1-2 bad meals, and then all his inflammation would come back. But it was like you could tell
very
it's, like,
demotivating.
inflammation,
And
yeah.
so the doctor told me that they create fat cells. So they're literally building a little home
What
inside
assholes,
of me. Yeah,
dude.
bro. I give you guys a place to stay. You just shit on me like this.
Don't charge you for rent. You're just
Parasites.
littering the place.
Yeah.
Okay. But then, so because of all the parasites, he's so imbalanced with, you know, you're missing so many vitamins and stuff. Like he was super, super, super vitamin D deficient.
Oh, bro.
And that affects you incredibly.
Bad. I was under like 20. And I was like, is that bad? He goes, yeah, very. And I was like, oh.
What are you supposed to be, 200? What was the number?
don't
Oh,
know.
you knew before.
I
And
just
this was
stood in
from
the
a
sun
blood
for, like-
test or something? Do you remember?
Yeah, blood tests. I spent like 2 racks on like all this shit. It's kind of annoying.
Which is crazy.
Well
But,
spent.
Like,
Yo, low key.
Well spent.
Low key. Money when it comes to health, I don't ever even question
Yeah,
it.
you-
ever question it. Yeah.
Don't
so
take your health for granted
I-
and take care of yourself.
I added a new little slither of prayer into my prayer, and I just wanted to share with you guys. If you guys want to add it to yours, I say, I always say, you know, thank you for everything you've given to me. But I now say, but most importantly, I go, thank you for the things I'm not smart enough to thank you for. There's so many things that like later on in life you're like, this is all I care about, but we didn't even give it any attention. And my mom told me this. She goes, remember, your prayers and your actions go together. So when I'm explaining to her about this, I go, do you not feel guilty? And she goes, I do. When she like smokes a cigarette, and I was talking about marijuana at the time, and I was like, I feel guilty every time I smoke. I'm like, it's not even worth it anymore. Like, I'm more anxious than I am, like, because I know I'm like, I go, Mom, how do you feel about this? She goes, what hurts me is that I always thank God for my health, but then I celebrate it with a cancer stick. And I was like, man, like, how many times have we, like, our prayers don't match our actions? And so I just started saying, I'm like, God, I'm so dumb, bro. Every year I grow up, the last year I'm judging that guy. I'm like, what's wrong with that guy? Like, how was I dumb enough to blah, blah, blah? So
it's going to keep happening, man.
This self-reflecting of I am very dumb and nothing I know is true knowledge, and I'm far away from true wisdom. So when I grasped this, I realized, who am I to look at anybody else and what they're going through?
Yeah.
Like, you could look at somebody and be like, let's talk about OnlyFans, right? Oh, she's dumb. Why would she ever blah, 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 da, da, da. You have the wisdom to understand that. But I guarantee you're going through something where somebody else would be like, what's this guy doing?
Yep.
Why is he doing that? Why is he doing blah, 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 blah. So, like, dude, the two things that have just been hammering me this year is like gossip, got to get rid of it. And two, start being more grateful than in need. And I said this in the beginning of my podcast in season 2. And now all I keep seeing are the things that I just like, oh, I should have been way more grateful for that. I should have been way more grateful. I mean, even this podcast, right? Like, this podcast is great. It's successful. It's putting bread on all of our tables. Amazing. Yeah. But I cherish you guys so much. You know what I mean? Like, when we were starting this and I was talking about you guys.
But to give you credit, you're always talking about it, dude. You're always saying that.
Oh, I appreciate it.
You really vocalize it.
Yeah, 100%.
You're not waiting too late to say it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it is known to us that, like, every week it's like, man, I appreciate you guys so much.
Yeah.
So
I do.
yeah.
And it's crazy. It's like, I hope you guys know that I don't appreciate you guys because you guys are working with me. I appreciate it because you guys, your actions make me a better human. So when Reed came into my life and he's like, oh, I'm just about myself and I do my own thing and I really don't care what other people got going on. That was so different than what I was drinking in LA that I was like, oh, I forgot what this feels like. This is who I was. And then it got me back into believing what I need to believe in. And then I have this unbelievable woman that, like, bro, like, I will say this until I'm blue in the face. The best gift a God could give a man, and this is scripture based, is a good woman. And you are so far past a good woman. Like, you are beyond a good one. You're like what a good woman looks up to, and she looks in the mirror and goes, "You're gonna be Shauna Della Rica today." Like,
Oh, please,
you know,
please.
no,
Thank you. I love
you're an incredible specimen of a human being. And so, like, I know it's called the George Janko Show, but I'm very, very honored to even be able to share that stage with you guys.
I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Love you, man. You're the best. And if I may, just because what we were talking about before when you said that.
No.
Okay.
That was so good. That was so respectful. It was like,
Oh, God, please.
wow.
Was you were speaking about how you said it in a way. It was about
Was this on the podcast or off a podcast?
No, it was just now. I was like gonna go. You were saying how
You're a
you can't
specimen of a
truly-
woman.
No. You can't truly speak on other people, even the OnlyFans, and judge them. Be like, why would you do that
Yeah.
when there's something you could be doing, right? And I think, like, do you think that that's why? I think one of the most prominent things God teaches us is to not judge other people, because at the end of the day, you truly don't know, like, why these people are making the decisions that they're making, and you don't know what wisdom they've been gifted with or what wisdom they haven't been gifted with. And so, like, the last thing on earth we should do is judge, because we'll never know.
I think somewhat almost it's the same thing, just but a little bit more loving. It's kind of like, I see heaven as a house, and it's God's house, and he wants his people and his friends to be around there. If Reed has a housewarming place, he's not inviting strangers to come into his home.
Yeah.
So how you behave is who you are. That's why the scripture says you will know them by their fruits. Emily Willis, or anybody who's done these type of adult films, I'll give you a crazy example, like a no jumper. People like jump on him and say like, "Oh, look at that guy," but it's like all the people that are jumping on no jumper. Also, you probably watch porn. Mm-hmm. So it's just a bunch of hypocrites pointing at each other, acting like they're
to
greater.
make themselves feel better.
Yes,
And the truth is that how I see myself is so dirty and so gross in the presence of God that I don't have the time or the luxury to even look at my neighbors and see what they got going on. But if my neighbors need something from me, I'll be there for them because I'm grateful that I'm put in a position that I can move the way that God moves, and that is with grace and love. Mm-hmm. That is how I see it. So when God sees me judging another man, it shakes my bones because I know I'm going to stand before him naked, and God goes, look how you talked about this guy the same day you came to me and talked to me about forgiving you about this. Mm-hmm. But you made him feel so bad, he went and did this and this in his life.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So like, if I meet God, I know that there's going to be a ton of things I'm going to have to take accountability for. A ton. I ain't trying to add to the list. I'm just trying to like do my best on this earth to be the best reflection of God. And that is by not judging, because God came down and he never judged anybody. He was just kind of like the cool thing. And I think this is the most gangster thing, bro. Like if you read the Bible, like Jesus was never like just like you're this type of person. He would just ask them a question to make them reveal themselves.
So cool.
And that's so much cooler.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And people are always like the Andrew Tate episode, right? They go, oh, look how George challenged him. I didn't challenge Andrew Tate. You think I came into that room trying to challenge Top G? No. I wanted to know who he was, and I was there out of love.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, I got formed into a man that is bigger than I. Here's the thing. There was this video. I wish I could find it again because, man, it changed my perspective. It looked like it was shot in the 70s. It was like a long time ago. But there was this older woman, and she goes, look at this glove. She goes, look at this glove. This glove, it can't write.
Is it Julia Roberts? Wait, no, not Julia Roberts. Wait, what's her name? Julia Child, the French cook.
Yes.
Maybe. So like this can't write. It can't cook. It can't clean.
That's Julia Child.
It can't help its neighbor. It can't do anything. She goes, but when I do this, and she puts this glove on, and she goes, now this glove is capable. And then she starts telling us what it's capable of. And she explains that that's what we are when it comes to the Holy Spirit.
Dang.
Bars.
That's really good.
Bro, bars. Because I'm like, bro, what are we feeding ourselves?
Julia Child.
Yes. Also, here's another thing. I've been trying to start my day with the Bible. And the farthest I've ever got into it is like in my workouts, I'd listen to like Stephen Furtick, but still I don't feel like I'm doing a good job, right? And my mom said one thing to me that changed my perspective immediately. I know that when I start with God, my day is amazing. I just couldn't put like a picture of what it represented. And my mom goes, when you're building a rock, like tower of rocks, she goes, you put the strongest, biggest rock at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then you stack. She goes, how are you going to put this on top? It's going to crumble your day.
Yeah.
So I started, and I'm not even going to lie to you. It's so hard. It's so funny how hard it is. Even me, it's hard to start my day with God.
Oh, it's so, and I was just gonna say,
It's such a dude. If you want to know how real the devil is, try to start your day with God, and it like you wouldn't imagine how many cool things. Hey, dude, somebody walked through the door. They're giving free Chick-fil-A for the bar, and I'm like sitting in prayer. Oh, I gotta go. And I'm just like, okay, now I can. Dude, you wouldn't believe what's going on over here. Just like, all right. And then the last time I'm like, Ryan Garcia's looking at us all. I'm, all right, dude, I gotta get out of here.
For real. And as you're talking, I was like, dude, I will literally put myself like out there. Like it is so hard, and it's something that I've been telling myself I need to do every morning, and I failed. I have completely failed. And literally God has sent me like three different people over the course of these last 2 months to tell me how powerful and beautiful it is to start your morning with the Bible. 3 different people. And the last person I spoke to, I was speaking to my mom and I was speaking about it to her.
The last person was Moses. I was like, all right, babe, maybe you should have listened to that one.
And I even told her, just listen how like stupid we are as humans. I even told her, yeah, man, mom, you wouldn't believe, like so many people have been telling me this. And so like, I know it's coming from God. I know there's something I need to do. I know I need to start my morning like this. And man, if I don't do it tomorrow morning, I know he's going to be like, Shauna, are you serious? And I still have failed, just so you know.
Bro, comment down below. Just like if you watch it, just come back to this video and comment down. If you tried, dude, you wouldn't believe. Like just the weirdest things will get involved in it. I got a Christian joke for you that reminds me of what you just said. Which is like a little fun. Okay, check this out.
Are we having fun now?
We're a little fun.
Whoa.
Turned around this day. There was a huge flood warning. They're like, a tsunami is coming. It's gonna wipe everybody out. Everybody's gonna drown. You need to evacuate. And
Oh, I love this joke.
That's not funny, dude. That's dark. People are gonna die.
Do you like it?
Crickets.
So he's at his house and everybody's evacuating and their neighbors running. Like, dude, you gotta get ready. You gotta leave. And the guy's like, don't worry, my God will save me. And they're like, oh, okay. And then like leave. All of a sudden the water starts rising up a little bit more. And then he's like kind of like getting to the roof. And then so finally a boat is coming by and they're like, yo, hop on, bro. Like, we need to get you out of here. And he's like, no, silly guys. You guys get going. My God is going to save me. And they're like, okay. And then so they just drive off. Finally, the water's up to here. He's on the roof and he's like swimming a little bit. He's trying to get out. Well, I want to make sure I get it.
The second one was good.
Woo!
Get on the rope. And he's like, no worries. He's like, my God's going to save me. And so they're like, whatever. And they just take off. He dies. He gets to heaven. He goes, God, what's the deal, man? I thought you were going to save me. He goes, I sent your neighbors. I sent the boat. I sent a helicopter. He goes, it's your fault, not mine.
But dude, that's so true.
It's so true. When you hear that, you're like, oh, yeah, that's kind of
Yeah.
And it's so funny because
It is so funny. The way she pointed at me, bro. It's so funny, George. So funny.
Because that's the joke my mom and I were after that same conversation I just spoke about where I was like, oh, Sean, you'd be real idiot not to start your morning. We talked about that exact joke, that story in that thing. But wait, let me just tell you something that this wonderful lady told me, Angela from Girls Gone Bible. We were just like talking and she said, no, dude, listen, like, she goes, I would always tell myself, like, no, I don't have the time in the morning. Like, I got to get ready. I got to do my makeup. I got to go. I have so many things I have to do in the morning. I don't have the time. And then she goes, I started my mornings with the Bible and she goes, and God has given me more time than I need in the morning.
Oh, you have no idea.
Whoa.
Like, I think we're running past how unbelievable it is. Like, if you start your day with God, you got to remember you're putting on God's armor now. And when you put on God's armor, like, I don't, like the movies and the music and all that stuff, blah, blah, blah. The devil's so strong. The demons are so blah, blah. They're nothing. Start your day with God and watch how much of a nothing they are. Like, legit nothing, bro. They ain't shiz.
Did you see the new Russ song? He's speaking about how the devil is nothing.
Everybody who's listening needs to reach out to Russ and get him on this podcast. Like, this is getting out of hand now. I need him on my podcast.
But have you heard his new song?
No, but I felt like I wanted to talk about something.
I have to be so
I sent it
bad.
to you this morning, but you never watched the reels that I send you. So.
Oh, here we go. Listen, I
But
want,
he
I want
sends
everybody
them to you, right? He sends them to you?
I want
Yep,
everybody
and I
here
watch
to know
them.
day.
I will
All
never
day.
watch
You
your
send him
guys'
one.
reels. I will only send.
Bro, I send you such good stuff.
Do you think he'd care? Do
She
you think
gets
he'd
so
care if we
mad.
didn't watch them? Do you think like he'd notice,
Yeah,
or
no,
is he just purely on a mechanical like, oh, that's funny, I'm sending it to these people?
No,
do you think he cares
I
if he watched them?
specifically choose who would enjoy it. So if you get one from me, I know that you.
Do you know if they've watched them or not? Do you see if they see red or anything?
He asks me. He asks me all the time. He's like, oh, did you know that thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, oh, I sent you the reel. And I'm like, oh, okay, I have to go back and watch it. Because normally I watch all of them. So you always ask me if I
No,
watch.
I don't.
Yes, you do.
I don't care. When I send you guys something, mind you, it's not me in my room being like, oh my God, Belle needs to see
No,
this.
you're
If this is what's real.
Yep.
That's still wet. I'll send that one.
Bubba.
You have parasites. I can tell you
Parasite
parasites
poops.
by
Parasite
the
poops.
yeah.
Parasite poops.
I send you things that I think you would enjoy, and I want you to watch.
Can I tell you on something that I would enjoy?
What is this? The George Janko show?
Thank you. Honestly, also, I didn't even know how to move on.
How do you feel about the Candace Owens episode? How was that experience? And tell us about it.
Candace was one of the people that I was picturing that if I could get her on my show, that I would prove to the world that we could have cool conversations, and I'm at a level where I could compete with other type of podcasts. And it went better than I even dreamt of because I was really nervous of meeting her.
Me too.
Because bro, she's just some powerful chick that's just bro, she's like one of those people. Her and Jordan, if they don't agree with you, they'll no, I don't agree with you. This is why. And I like those conversations. I feel more confident in those conversations because I don't feel like we're playing a game here.
Yeah.
And when she came on, before the show started, she was putting on her gear. And she looked at me and she goes, before we start, I just want to let you know, I really like what you've done with your career and where you've taken it. And that compliment talking about like the Christian stuff that I'm doing, all this, it made me realize that like, okay, cool, we're cool here. So there's not going to be any like, because remember, I walked into that podcast thinking that she tweeted at me that one time, but it wasn't even about me.
So funny.
So like, imagine this whole time I'm walking into this being like, I don't know what I was thinking. To be honest, sometimes like I overthink a lot. So I have to kind of like really talk myself.
Also, you think you know who these people are, but you've just seen clips of them.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It's hard to tell how they're going to be when you see them in person. But
Yeah.
I will say, like, the thing that made me feel more comfortable when she walked in was that she was wearing really cute pink slippers.
Yeah.
Because and that's literally.
She's a vibe.
I swear to she
She's
is a vibe.
Yeah.
Offset, like she goes into like this mode. She's really. I felt like she was really cool. Like,
She's
a cool
super
human.
cool, yeah. But as soon as she walked, I swear to you, I was like so nervous. And then she walked in and she was wearing really cute pink slippers, and I was like, oh. I was like, okay. And that made me feel so much better. And then she changed to her like professional shoes for the show. But yeah.
Yeah. Also, she's at the stage where they do like she has like this production company. I think it's Livewire or Wire Live. Or
No, it is. Are
Wire?
you talking about
Daily Wire?
Daily Wire?
nice.
Daily
yeah.
Wire. Their crew, bro. Because remember, when we do stuff, it's us three.
Yeah.
She had like it looked like so many people. There was like 100 people in this area working on all these different like shows and everything like that. We literally just go, hey, we would like to set something over here, and like we blinked, and they had gaffers, they had stage designers, and all this stuff, and I was like, oh, she's at a whole different level. Like she has a real operating team, bro.
That
Like,
was crazy. I remember walking out and there was like a whole courtroom set.
Yeah.
And it was like, wow, this production's nuts.
yeah, it was really
it's
cool.
cool.
How I felt about her was she's just real, bro. When I had a conversation with her, I felt like, oh, this is a real human being. This is not like an act. This is not a staged thing. She's not like saying stuff just to get her name out there. Like what she stands on is her business, and she will be damned before you try to tell her what she's going to say or what she's going to think.
100%.
I have to respect that in every vertical possible. I have
Yeah.
to respect that.
She just.
I
like,
was just upset with one thing. The time.
Oh, yeah.
That did
yeah.
bum me out. We flew out there, and mind you, she just had kids, right? So she has her work to do, which she's just got into the groove of. And when we got there, I thought we were gonna run like a 3-hour thing, and we barely got an hour because like she had to leave.
Yeah, it's just like we put so much time into getting there.
Yeah.
And with the things move so fast here.
Yeah.
And there's little oversights. Like we thought for a second we were gonna have to film on their set, like the Daily Wire set, where it's like a podium, like politics, and we're like, can we do over here? And it's like, okay, we can do that. But these things aren't discussed. And then right before, they're like, yeah, she has about an hour, so.
Yeah.
And we're like, wait, what?
Well, the thing that bummed me out is just like I didn't get anywhere near my notes. That was just from us flying and having a conversation. We flew by it like it was nothing.
Maybe we
and
need
I
a part two
really
then.
enjoyed it.
That's how
so
the
she
Tate
talked
one
about
went.
she talked about that. She said I would love to do it again. And I feel like as an interviewer or a host, that's the best compliment you want. Is you want them to be like, I'd love to do this again. I enjoyed my time.
Yeah.
Even if we challenge each other, it's still an enjoyable time. I was bummed because I think the reason why I was bummed is because she was one of the people in my mind I looked up into having on my show. So like I was very excited to have her on. And when I found out that I only get an hour, I was grateful for the hour, but I also knew that what could come out of a 3-hour episode, it would be so much bigger and better because within the hour that we stopped, I felt like I was ready to be comfortable to ask her about these questions.
It was like, it was just like the beginning.
Yeah,
I think her
Totally.
guard just started to go down at the end. You asked that question about how
Yeah.
she prays.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, whoa, we're getting a different side of Candace. And then it ended. And it's like, I wanted to see that for another hour of that side
You know,
of her.
you were the one that helped me with my interviewing skills because you said something that completely derailed where I was going to go with it. I wanted to be those guys that are like, I have this question, this question, this question, this question. But then you looked at me and you're like, you know what I love about you on your podcast? You're the same way to your guests that you are with some random dude in an elevator.
Yeah, that's- yeah.
And that changed my life.
Well,
now
not even
I
on the
treat
show,
all my
just in
guests like a
general.
guy in an elevator.
Yes, dude. You're always asking questions. You'll talk to anybody. You won't know anything about them, and you'll just start talking to them. And within 5 minutes, they'll be opening up about somebody that just passed away or something. It's like, wait, George, how did you get here? What happened?
Yeah.
And
Because I'm curious, bro. Here's the reason why. I know this sounds stupid, cheesy, and a lot of people are going to think I'm bullshitting. But like when I look into strangers' eyes, I just think, why did God create you? Like, what is it about
Whoa.
you that God created you, man? Like, there must be something beautiful going on in you that, like, God decided to create you. My mind can't
That's
get
such
over
a
that.
beautiful thought to think
That
about.
was really sweet,
strangers,
But I
yeah.
can't get over the thought of it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so yeah, I just treat everybody
Curious
like,
George.
Oh, dude, when we were interviewing Tony Robbins and we went to the library to find internet,
Yeah.
I had a conversation with this older gentleman.
Well, first of all,
You want to tell it?
well, like we're driving around and it's day of, and we need to upload. We'd been up all night. We slept for like 3 hours. Finished it finally. We need to upload in like a couple hours. We're going around, literally running internet speed tests at places. We did the Wi-Fi at the hotel, and it was like 20 down, 20 up, which is really bad. So.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, where can we upload? And then I was like, maybe the library. We go to the library, and just you walk in, you're like, this is an interesting place. Do they all smell like this? And I was
Bro,
like,
it smelled weird,
because
bro.
I was like, you've never been to a library. It's very clear. So, like, they all smell like this? And then you're like, you looking around, you're like, is it safe here? And I'm like, yes, George, it's a library.
No.
Well, because in my defense, the libraries I went to was just like bombarded by like dangerous homeless people.
What?
So when I went to a library that wasn't like that, I was very like, whoa, this is cool.
Libraries are sick. And then I just
Yeah,
remember.
it's lit. It was cool.
Yeah,
But
well,
people were vibing there.
And then we set up the laptop, and I'm like, I had to get a number so I could log on and blah, blah, blah. And like, there's this older guy, and he's like, has white hair, and he's like kind of scrunched over a computer.
Bro,
Not
and he
the
has
person
scribbles.
your average person would just start a conversation with. And George is like, hey, how are you doing? Or something. And the guy's like, huh? Like literally goes
So closed
huh?
off.
Huh?
And so Reed went to go off and get that code, and I was just looking at this guy, and I'm like, dude, I need to know this guy. Like, I had to know about this guy. So I just sat there, and I remember even asking Reed, I go, do you mind going and finishing this? I wanted to finish up this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was like really into it. And I had the most pleasant conversation with this man. And he turned to me and he smiled and he goes, okay, well, I'll see you later. And it started out with like, get away from me.
Uh-huh.
And then it went to like giving me a hug. And then we wished each other well and we
Yeah.
left. And I wanted to do a podcast where instead of interviewing like conversations where, you know, everybody could get something out of it, I want to do one where I go and talk to random people and just show them how easy it is to start a conversation with somebody. Because I feel like people are so scared of starting a conversation, but my God, they're missing out, bro. Like, I can't tell you how many beautiful moments I've had just by talking to somebody in an elevator, or like, bro, like my whole life was from like meeting somebody, just talking to them. Like the worst thing you'll get is rejection.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had so much rejection in my life that to me, rejection is like necessary for growth. Like truly, it's the fertilizer that people don't understand. You need rejection to fertilize everything else. And so I wanted to do a podcast where I just mic myself up and I'll go random places and I'll find somebody and I'll just sit there and I'll have a conversation with somebody random.
I love that.
I want to do that so bad.
I
bro.
think
That'd be
that'd be
so
really cool.
sick.
But not like just like a, hey, we're how many,
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
OnlyFans or $20. You know,
Yeah.
like that's
like the
stupid
camera
shit. Shut up.
could be hidden, and then afterwards you can ask them if you can post it or whatever.
Dude, there's got to be a way to do that.
Like I want to have some like cool conversations. man.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. But I love that you're sharing that, because I think it does make your life so much more like lively when you're out and about, and you're not like, you don't feel weird about like hey, how are you? Like talking to strangers around you and like having conversations. It truly makes your day so much more fun and beautiful. And yeah, like I love that you're sharing that with, because I know sometimes like I'll be in a store and I don't go and start conversations with people, but sometimes I get excited about certain things and like I need someone to share it with. And I literally did this yesterday because I found a really cute purse for a really good price, and there was 2 of them for that same price. And so I was like, there's no one around me I can be like, hey. And so I saw this woman, I was like, I don't know if you're a pink girl, but I was like, this purse is this much, and there's a second one right there, you know? And she like appreciated that. We had a good laugh, a good conversation, but like it just makes your day so much more fun, you know?
You feel it right afterwards,
And-
instantly.
You know what's so funny? I realized this. I met you and I fell in love with your personality, right? And how you're so bubbly. But then when I got in a relationship, very early, there was a stupid thought I had in my head that I feel like every guy thinks. Don't be too friendly to strangers. because then it's gonna make it look like you want them, and then it's gonna make me look like I have some girl that just wants somebody else, right? And I was about to tell you, like, hey, chill with like that, like, you know, like I'd rather have a girl be quiet and only care about me, and then hates everybody else. That's randomly what we want.
Of course, yeah.
But then I was like, the only one who benefits from that is me. It's my insecurity that this guy's like, oh, she's only with him because he's famous, and look at her, she's talking to so-and-so. I would get paranoid that Belle would be talking, playing with her hair, looking at somebody, and somebody would capture it on a camera and be like, look at her being in love with so-and-so. And I sat there and I go, that's so stupid for me to think this way. And so I literally sat there and I go, I want to go up to my girlfriend with a full conscious thought and be like, I want you to be less like yourself, less happy, less social, so I can feel better about sleeping with you.
Right.
Horrible.
That's crazy. And when I said it out loud, I started giggling, and I was like, dude, every guy thinks like this, but we don't have the balls to say this. Here's the thing. If you care so much about what people think about you, it'll affect you to affect the people around you.
Totally.
Now, I don't want them to think Belle's too friendly. Belle, don't be like that. And now I ruined that beautiful part of you that now you're changing about yourself to fit the stupid need that
smothered
I
her,
need.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's stupid.
Yeah.
I really
it.
enjoyed this episode.
This was really good.
Yeah.
Let us know how you guys liked it below in the comment section.
Yeah,
And we didn't this time, but don't forget to leave questions for George or us or anybody. Just leave a comment below, and we'll bring up the comments on the next one with ones we want to reply to.
Oh, sorry.
Then he won't do that next time.
Yeah.
He's going to be better next time.
Better.
You're going to be
Better
better.
pizza, better people,
Less parasites.
better parasites.
No, not better. No parasites.